A little creativity shown by, is that Colin Schmelling? Was that something he, oh no, it wasn't. It was Eddie Erickson who put that together. Freddie in Maryland, and he says hello, and he's on Mad Dog Unleashed on his busy afternoon. Fred, welcome. Your turn. How are you today, pal? Okay?
Hey, good, Chris. Good. I'm the umpire guy that calls into you periodically.
Oh, yes, Fred. Know you well. Good to have you aboard here, pal. Let me hear what's on your mind here today. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Well, stormy Maryland. Not good weather for baseball, for sure. Buck Showalter, very vanilla manager. I've watched him for years. I like that one caller. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but he, does what he can with the talent, like you said, Chris, but very vanilla. Also, I'd throw into something else. Has anybody ever thought about with the NCAA tournament and the NIT? I'd love to see the winner of the NIT play the winner of the NCAA.
Yeah, I think in the late 60s, that would have been really fun. I don't think anybody wants to see it now. When those tournaments, Freddie, were a little bit more on equal footing, where there was a lot of good teams that play in the NIT, I wouldn't say that they would opt for the NIT over the NCAA, but Marquette playing the NIT, Walt Frazier playing in the late 60s, the NIT was a big deal in that period. I think then you could make the argument. I don't think you can make the argument now. I really don't.
Okay, my final point would be on the length of seasons. I'm an NFL Ravens season ticket holder, and what we're paying for tickets, I'd hate for them to go ahead and drop the games back, because they're not going to drop the season ticket price.
Well, that's a good point. That's why they're not going to do it. I mean, if they gave you 14 games, one less home game, they'd have to theoretically cut your season ticket package by 1/8, and they will not do that. So you're 100% right on that. Go ahead.
And the final thought is this. I'd like to really see them go to the 18-game season by cutting some of the exhibition games. These guys are playing anyway. Keep the rosters at, say, 60 players for the first 4 games of the season, 2 exhibition that they make regular season and 2 in the regular season. Then if they want to drop it back to 56, whatever, let them do that. Let's go ahead and just throw those 2 extra games in there and let the season start in August.
Again, Fred, that I disagree with you on. I don't think you need 18 games. 16 games is plenty. 18 games, they don't play the exhibition season anyway. See, to me, it's 2 different arguments. Blow off the exhibition schedule anyway. I mean, cut the 2 games off. Nobody cares. But, don't try to equate, well, we'll cut 2 off here and add 2 there. I don't think one has to do anything. I don't think one has to do with the other. I mean, we don't need 18 games, and we don't need 4 exhibition games. So as a result, cut the 2 exhibition games. The only people who like the 4 exhibition games are the coaches. Cut the exhibition games. You don't need 4 of them. Half the teams don't play anyway. Exhibition football at full prices is an embarrassment for the NFL. We've been down this path 1,000 times. Nobody gets a ticket break. The only team that used to give you one were the Giants, when they didn't charge a full price for an exhibition game. Now it's part of your package. You have to buy the games. They hit you over the head. It's really a ripoff, and the NFL should be embarrassed by it. So if they cut the 2 exhibition games and have teams play just 1 exhibition game at home, 1 on the road, you'd be much, much better off. Teddy's in Scottsdale, Arizona. He's aboard. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Teddy, good afternoon. Your turn. How are you today?
Hey, Mad Dog. Not too late for a couple of working girl facts that have been left out?
Yes, go ahead. Let me hear now.
I just want to add, I want to thank you. I knew about the movie. I'd seen it a couple of times, but it's a terrific movie. And Melanie Griffith really pulls off something in that movie that's not unlike Marilyn Monroe. She actually, the quote is, "I have a head for business and a body for sin." She's so stupid, but she's not. She's so smart. And
well, if you see her first glance, and that's the whole idea. You see her take these, ridiculous jobs. She's a secretary. She doesn't have a ton of confidence in herself. So as a result, she comes across as a kid from Staten Island who, has got a very short shelf life and a big job. As it turns out, she's a lot more crafty than you think she is what it comes down to.
Yeah, it's a lot more than community college. All right, now,
that's a good point.
Couple things.
Right.
Oscar nominations. Yes, Melanie Griffith was nominated for Best Actress.
Oh, she was? She was? Okay.
Yes, and Sigourney Weaver for Best Supporting Actress. But what has not been mentioned is Joan Cusack was also nominated for Best Supporting Actress.
And she was great in the movie. She was great.
She was great. Mike Nichols for Best Director, and, of course, the film was nominated for Best Picture.
How many Oscars did that film? How many Oscars did that film win? We got to look that up. It must have won something. Yeah, it's a lot of nominations. It had to win something.
I don't think it won.
Well, it didn't win Best Picture, but did it win anything? Did it win anything?
No, I don't think so. Not of the big awards, no.
All right. I mean, was it a screenplay? Was it cinematography? Was there anything else? Editing? Was there any other awards, Oscar nominations it was nominated for?
Hang on. Going back. I got the IMDb here, and what it lists is awards, Oscar winner. Oh, Best Song.
It won Best Song. So it won one award.
Yeah.
One Oscar. That's it. Wow.
And that's one of the other pieces of trivia is it was originally titled Wall Street Hymn, and Let the River Run by Carly Simon was the first of only two songs, the other being Bruce Springsteen's Streets of Philadelphia, to win all three major awards, the Oscar, the Golden Globe, and the Grammy, composed and written by a single artist.
Wow, so so they won all three. That one song won all three. Wow.
Yeah, when you think about it, it's one thing to win an Oscar, which is, I mean, really unique, but to win a Grammy for Best Song of the Year and the Oscar, and, I mean, a Golden Globe is, I think, on a second tier, a B-level tier. But that's extraordinary, and that song really is.
Oh, that song is a tremendous, no question. Here's Mike in Rhode Island. He's aboard. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Mike, good afternoon. How are you today, pal? What do you have?
Hi, Chris. I'm doing well, thank you.
Yeah, Mike. Let me hear now. What's on your mind today?
Hey, Chris, I'm a Giants fan living up in Patriot country, and earlier you're talking about the Giant draft pick. You know, I agree. I think they should get Barkley, right? Because Giant football has always been run first, good defense, a quarterback that won't lose the game. What they did is they traded Ogilvy to get Ogilvy for their defense, you know, strengthen it up a little bit, get an offensive lineman in the second round, and be able to play real Giant football. And Eli won't lose you games if he has a good offensive line in front of him. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, the Giants don't normally take running backs with, in first round. You know, Dave Meggett, a fifth rounder. I mean, the Giants usually find a running back. Rodney Hampton was a first round pick, but generally speaking, the Giants do not take running backs in round one. So you got to keep that in mind a little bit from that perspective. So that's important there. I'm getting the idea that the Giants are not going to take a quarterback in that second pick. I think if they felt there was a Hall of Famer there, they would. But I don't think the Giants think there is one, and I don't think the Giants will take a quarterback there. Now, the question then becomes this. Will the Giants trade down to take the offensive lineman and get an extra couple of picks, or will the Giants not be able to overlook Barkley and not resist the temptation to take a running back at the second pick? And that's not the Giants' way, running back second pick. That's the question about the Giants. We continue here on. Oh, no break. What am I talking about? It's in front of the hour. My fault. Gary in Ontario, Canada, and he's with us here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Gary, good afternoon. How are you today?
Not bad. Hey, 3 points I want to make to you. Number one, I rented a home in San Diego last week. You got to check out the Bird Rock section of San Diego. Amazing.
You rented a home in San Diego. Bird Rock?
For a week.
For a week.
In the Bird Rock section of La Jolla.
Pretty nice, huh?
3 miles south of La Jolla, no traffic issues. You're only 20 minutes from San Diego. It was absolutely gorgeous, beautiful homes. There's a little section of shops, and one block from the home. It was absolutely perfect.
All right, so Bird Rock, and you just went on vacation, Gary?
Yeah. And of course, being a West Virginia fan, my timing was terrible, and my flight left on Friday and couldn't see the Mountaineers.
That is, why would you do that? You knew they were going to play in that first round sooner or later, no?
Too much family.
All right, so you missed the West Virginia game. It was an opening round. You did see the game against Marshall, which happened to be in San Diego. Did you go to the game?
No, I had to leave. My flight left on Friday.
You came home, but they played.
Yeah, it was cruel.
But they played Marshall on Sunday, so you got a chance.
I was back home by then.
Well, that's what I mean. But you saw him at least. Go ahead.
And number two, remember we talked about Bob Jeter.
Yes, your buddies with Bob. You had a cousin who was with Bob Jeter, the old Packer defensive back.
Yeah, well, his nephew was Gary Jeter.
Yeah, who played defensive line for the Rams and the Giants for a long time. Yes.
And my last point. How could you say West Virginia is boring? Did you mean Virginia? Huggins can be boring, but the Mountaineers are really playing well. 94 points against Marshall, nice tenacious D.
I just don't like watching the style of play. I've never really, I don't know. They've always bored me. Now, we'll see against Villanova. I'll be into the flow of the game. But they've always, for whatever the reason, they've bored me. Jimmy in Cleveland, and he's with us here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Jim, good afternoon. How are you today, pal? What do you have?
Hey, Chris, Bill Self and a Buck Showalter point, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead. Let me hear.
So with Buck, I agree with you that I think he's a great. I always thought he was a good manager, and I have a very close friend who's a lifelong Orioles fan, and I was excited when they got Showalter for him. But I must say, well, first off, you mentioned he built two teams. I can't deny that he built the Diamondbacks, but as far as the Yankees, I mean, I would give Bob Watson and Stick Michaels.
No. Bob Watson was the GM beginning in '96, and the Yankee team was already the Yankee team was already built. Buck and Stick, during George Steinbrenner's suspension from baseball '93, they built the Yankees. They're both of them.
Right, but Stick was as integral, if not more so.
I didn't deny that, but Buck had a lot to do with the development. He told him and Stick were joined at the hip. They had a lot to do, the both of them, with building that team. Bottom line.
Yeah, but I mean, I do think that that preview or that caller a while ago has a good point. I mean, I've always thought of him as a good manager, but I mean, he never does get teams across the finish line. So I mean, you can't really deny that. I mean, that's. He's definitely got an intellect. I've heard him on with you and with Mike, and he's really smart and he knows what he's talking about. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, this Orioles team he took over should have done a lot more than what he has done with it. So that's my point about that.
He's made the playoffs a couple times. He's won a wild card playing game in Texas. He lost one in Toronto. They don't have dominant starting pitching. I think Buck's a heck of a manager. Now, he did a horrendous job in our playoff game. I'm not going to argue with that. And he has, I think he might take it to a certain point, and then maybe he wears you out a little bit. But I think he's a good manager. I feel the ball club is in good hands with Buck as the skipper. That's how I feel. Here is Ari in Brooklyn, and he's aboard in New York, and he says hello on Mad Dog Unleashed. Ari, welcome. How are you today?
What's up, Mad Dog? How you been?
All right, Ari, thank you. Let me hear what's on your mind today. Fire away.
Okay, I got to make a Mike Trout point because, I mean, it's about time you give him his due. I agree with you that he should not have been on that dopey list he was on. I agree with you with that. But, I mean, in his first 5 full seasons in the majors, Chris, he won an MVP twice and finished second 3 times. And last year, which was his 6th year, he was having his best season of his career, and then it was cut short by injury. So how could you not look at this guy as on his way to becoming an all-time great when his first 5 seasons he never finished past second in the MVP voting?
Yeah, I mean, I look at him differently than I look at some of these other all-time greats. I mean, DiMaggio's got the 56-game hitting streak. Williams hit 406. That's who he's compared to historically, and he doesn't have anything by his name that sets him apart immortality-wise. Now, he's got plenty of time to still do that, but he really, he hasn't done any of those things that you like to see from an immortal. He hasn't played well in the postseason in one opportunity. I'm a little harder on Trout than most. I get tired of hearing how great he is. It drives me crazy. 5 o'clock, Joe Buck. 2 o'clock in the West. He's next here on Mad Dog.